Hello guys, welcome back to a new episode of Aeroland. In this episode I will be building a train station which will function as the station for the entrance area. I accidentally missed the record button at the start, so I jump in slightly after the terraforming. I made a small hill on top of which the train station will be built. I wanted to build the train station in the same style as the rest of the area, so I decided to start off with a foundation made out of the rough stones. Here you can see me using the narrow arches on the inside of the tile grid and the wide arches on the outside of the tile grid. This creates a nice dynamic look and some good looking columns in between the openings. And I decided to place these iron fences in between to close it up a little bit. After this I built some arches on the inside of the station which will support the roof. I placed these arches on both sides of the tile grid as well. This way the spacing between the arches is more even. So I wanted to have the ends of the station closed up, and I decided to just close it up with a wall, and I will be placing an arch in there in a second, as you can see. This way the station is closed off on the ends, and I don't know, otherwise it would be just a roof on columns, and now it at least has some walls, if you know what I mean. I used these lanterns to light up the station. And I wanted to have a sloped roof. So the sloped roof is going all over the building. And in the middle I wanted to have likely a slightly raised area with another roof on top of it. And I switched my building grid to the 2-meter grid and placed these walls in the middle, so I could place another roof on top of that. I did the same as I did on the lower floor, and by adding a second layer of arches on the walls, which would just give a little bit more depth to the walls. On the corners of the building I use these plaster pillars, or what are they plaster? I'm not really sure, maybe they are limestone or something. But anyway, I use those pillars to fill up the corners. They look quite sturdy and they fit the color scheme quite well, so it wasn't a bad decision. The pathway in front of the station, I wanted to have it go around the corner so I could build a wall around it. But first I wanted to have the main path connect to the front, and as you could see it was very wavy, and I tried to smooth this area as much as I can to have a smooth pathway going up the hill. In my opinion, some terrain tools can be added to ease the smoothing of a path going uphill, because as you can see, when you place a path it's very bumpy and stuff like that, and I really just wanted to have a smooth pathway. It's slightly annoying in my opinion, but anyway. So now I was able to connect the queue line to the main path and the exit path as well. I decided to complete at least a full circle of the path so the train could ride. This way the train could ride circles, as you can see right now, and when it's riding around it just looks more like a happy place. I don't know if you know what I mean. It just looks more alive. And back in the older roller coaster games, people tend to go on the train when you have only one station, just for fun. But in this game I tried to opening the attraction up later, but no one would go on the ride, and my guess is that's because there's no second station and it's a transport ride, so guests are like, nah, it has no use to get on the ride. So I think that's the problem. As you can see, I'm building a stone wall around the first part of the queue line. This way the queue line is somewhat integrated into the building itself. And the point where I'm building now will be like the end of the stone walls, and it will cross over into like a garden in front of the building. So I use these wooden beams again to add as like a top stone layer of the wall, and it is wood, but it looks pretty nice. Adding some stone columns on the corners of the path, and just to finish up the corners, it just looks slightly better. As you can see, I just opened up the ride, but no one will enter the queue line, and at a certain point I was like, why is no one entering my ride? But it's probably because, as I said before, because I only have one station along the track. Time to add some foliage to the ride. I did not add too much trees, because trees tend to fill up the place and the view quite fast. So I decided to use some narrower or smaller trees to not block the building all the way. And here I'm building a hedge alongside the queue line. It's not that interesting, it took me quite a while because the whole queue line is going downhill. So at a certain point I had to lower my hedges all the way down. So I decided to first follow the generic shape of my queue line, and when everything was in place, I'll just adjust every single hedge until it's in the right place. I'll fast forward this a little bit because it's not that interesting, so I'll speed this up a little bit more. So yeah, I did this on both sides, and it took me quite a while to get every hedge in the right place, but it ended up looking pretty good. So I have this little area between the building and the hedges, and I decided to place some small trees over there, but the trees I placed are slightly too big because they block the view of the whole building. So when you're walking on the path, you can't see the building anymore. So I decided to switch them out with other trees later in this video. Just adding some final bushes to the garden in front of the building, and this gate over the hedge, over the entrance, I decided not to build it because it was a little bit too much. I liked it more without the big gate. And here I'm replacing the trees with these smaller, forgot the name of those trees, but with the pink flowers in them. So adding some lights for nighttime, I decided to just add the lanterns to the building again. It's quite simple and it looks pretty good, so it's one of my main methods to add lanterns. And to add some more light in the queue line itself, I decided to use the same tactic but on a wooden pole, as you can see right here. And it looks pretty good as well, so I just duplicated this, it's like a building, and I duplicated it a few times over to place in the queue line. It ended up looking pretty good. I'm quite happy with the final result of the building. Adding a few trees on the backside of the building, so it's kind of blocked off. And then I need to spice up this corner a little bit by adding some rocks to the hill to add some more texture to the hillside. And this way it really looks like the point is sticking out. And I decided not to fill the whole area up with bushes too much, because that would just kill the overall look, in my opinion. So that was it for the time-lapse part of this video. It's time to switch to the live commentary part. Hello guys, welcome to the live commentary bit of this video. So in this video I've built this train station. Let's have a look at the building itself. The building itself is quite simple. I used 2 layers of walls. And this is a trick I used from way back in Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. Because back in those games you did not really have the opportunity to create much depth in your walls, so you had to use like 2 layered walls with arches and flat walls to create some more structures to your walls. And I used the same tactic in this building, with a foundation over here. You can see the rough stone over here, and the arches are placed on top of that. And the arches themselves, they end up looking pretty good. I mean, with something so simple you can create these nice textures in the columns over here, and I really like how that turns out. It's something I really like. So I closed the arches up with these gates so no one can simply run into the station. That's about it for the lower floor. I used the same tactic on the upper floor with the arches. I simply placed a window inside of them, and that's about it for this building. It's really quite simple. I barely added any details to the building at all, and it still looks quite good in my opinion. And that's mostly because there are so many trees and foliage and other things around the station itself. When I was building the station I knew it would probably be covered up with trees and stuff, so I don't want to spend too much effort adding details to buildings if I know it will barely be seen anyway. So if I feel like adding more details later because it's incomplete, I can always do that. But for now it looks pretty good as well, in my opinion. The garden itself, it's the queue line. It's going out of the station, going around the corner, slightly down here, and then through the garden all the way up to the main path, and the exit is going around it. I think I can add some more to the exit to blend it in the garden a bit, but that will probably be something for later. I really like how I place this wall in front of the building, because it really involves the queue line more to the building, and over here it simply blends into the garden through the hedges, which will fence off the queue line, and eventually it will, it's just the end. I will probably place a tree or something over here, because this is a very empty spot and I'm not really sure what I'm going to do here, but that's something for later. Let's have a quick look to the back of the building. This is really plain because this part of the building will barely be seen anyway. If you look at the path, it will go in front here, and this part will go over here, and the area behind this will probably be just blocked off by a small mountain or something, so there will be no visibility from here. I simply added these trees so the trees stick out of the building from this angle, and it just fills up the space a little bit more. It just looks so much nicer. But that's all there is to it, the backside of this building. And this corner, I just added some rocks to the hill to add some more texture and to have the hill pop out a little bit more. It really ended up looking pretty nice. So yeah, I'll quickly point out what the plan is from here on. I'll zoom out very fast. This is the top view of my park so far. The entrance over here and the plaza we've built earlier. And the path goes up here and the train station is here. This pathway will extend over here into a new themed area, and it will most likely be like a forest theme or a jungle theme or something like that. This path will extend over here. I will build a bridge here. That's something for the next episode. And the bridge will be shared with the train, so they will both share a bridge. And after the bridge, I will go on into a western area and finish up this side of the lake. Probably still in kind of the same theming. So this whole area will be one theme. It will be finished after that. So yeah, that's like the global planning from here. And I'm not really sure how long it will take to get there, but I have a feeling it will be faster than you can suspect at the moment. So yeah, that's about it, I guess. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit the like button to let me know. You can leave any suggestions in the comments, and if you like the stuff I make, feel free to hit the subscribe button as well to stay up to date with my stuff. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next one.